Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started in the front, so I'm just going to do my little shtick. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mahwah Library. Thank you so much for coming this evening. I am super excited about this program. One, because everyone has stuff in their house. They're like, well, how much could that be? So now you get to find out. Two, I'm excited because I get to wheel out my new toys with my camera here, as well as the sound system. And we are streaming live via Facebook, so those can play at home and watch if you can't make it here tonight. So how this is going to work, as you entered, everyone got a number. That number is how you registered. So I am going to be calling you up around 3 or 4 at a time. So 1, 2, and 3 will be here at the table waiting for appraisal. And then I will be coming over with my camera, and I will be slowly rotating around it. Mike will take a look at it, give some feedback, ask some questions. I will be handing the microphone off to you, so this way you can better answer those questions. So just be prepared. You are not on camera. Your item is on camera, so don't worry. If you came dressed up, great. If not, that's fine too. Just a little heads up. Keep an eye on our calendar in September and October. We have lots of wonderful programs coming. This week, we have another program happening that is about the Hudson County dairies. And they are so close to here, and it's such an interesting program. The person who's doing it is also bringing his historic milk bottle collection. It's really fun to see, so he's a really interesting speaker, so I hope you guys can join us then. We also have a lot of our Sunday programs. You do need to register for them, so we look forward to seeing you at many of them. So without further ado, I know why you're here. You're not here to see me. So I'm going to hand it on over to Sue and Mike.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Alexandra, and for inviting us in the Mahwah Library. We're excited to be here. Thanks, everybody, for participating tonight. We like to keep our appraisal events fun, informal, certainly informative. And if you have any questions, other than your own personal appraisal that Mike will do, if you have any further questions, we always leave time at the end for just general Q&A. So aside from, I want to be able to, add in Mike's contact information in the chat window, if you can see that. So basically, if you have any questions after the meeting is over, you want to continue a conversation, you're more than welcome to reach out to Mike. I've included that there on the screen, and he's happy to help you out. And in addition, just so you know, in addition to Mike's extensive product knowledge, I'll be helping, or we'll both be working together, but we're looking up comps or comparables for your items tonight. It's the same idea if you were selling your home, a realtor would look up comps of current pricing, what other homes are selling for in your neighborhood. We're looking up values for what your things are selling for in today's market. And today's market is crazy. It's all over the place. What something was worth 10 or more years ago, or even 1 to 2 years ago. Some things have retained good value. Many things have not. But, so it's just the realistic today values that we want to try and help you out with. And, that we're going to turn it over to our appraiser, Mike, and he'll talk to you a little bit about value and looking at your items personally and close up. Thanks, Mike.
All right, hey, thanks, guys. And hey, all of you, thanks for coming out. I like to start these programs out by talking about value, because a lot of you come to these programs thinking your item is worth an exact amount. Mike, just tell me what it's worth. And it kind of doesn't work that way. There's a lot of other factors involved. But to give you a little background, I wear a lot of different hats. I'm an appraiser. And my job as an appraiser is help people understand the value of what they've got. I'm also an auctioneer in the state of Pennsylvania, licensed, bonded. I could talk real fast if I have to. But more importantly, as an auctioneer, what we do is we help people turn what they no longer want or need into cash. I've written a book called Home Downsizing in 4 Easy Steps, and Sue and I help people deal with their stuff. And arguably the best description of what we do is this: take your house, turn it upside down, and shake it. If it falls out, antiques, collectibles, good, bad, ugly, junk, we're going to deal with it. If it doesn't fall out, more than likely, the realtor's going to deal with it. Sue and I are also national Zoom speakers. We've done probably half the libraries in the state of New Jersey, and we've done these kind of programs in 29 different states. We have a radio show on WVCB in Philadelphia called What's It Worth? But if I were to come out to your house, if you brought me out to your home to do a home downsizing consultation, the first question I would ask you is this. I'd say, think about some of the stuff you might be interested in selling. Are you looking for the most amount of money? Do you want to do the least amount of work? Or do you have to get rid of it in the shortest amount of time? How you answer that question, most money, least work, shortest amount of time, is going to determine what you're going to get for your things. Because I'll tell you right now, the most amount of money equals the most amount of work. Most people start saying, well, obviously, Mike, we want the most amount of money. And I'll say, fine, you want the most amount of money? You better be willing and able to do the most amount of work. You got to polish it. You got to clean it. You got to get it ready for sale. You have to have a garage sale. Maybe not one Saturday, but 3, 4, 5, 6 weekends, maybe until much of it's gone. You've got to take the local flea market, the church bazaar, stand on your feet all day long trying to sell it. You got to put it on eBay. And if it sells, you got to pack it, ship it, hope you don't get it back. Or you got to put it on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and have strangers coming into your house to look at it. And usually when I could get to that part about the strangers coming into your home, most of my clients are my age or older. And they say, I don't want anybody coming into my house. Tell me about the options with the least amount of work. Now, the least amount of work is basically 5 steps. Step number 1, you're going to decide whether you want to keep these things for yourself. Maybe you're staying in place. Maybe you're downsizing to a smaller location. You'll decide whether you want to keep it for yourself. If you're not keeping it for yourself, you're probably going to offer it up to your family, your kids, your friends, people like that. You don't want it. They don't want it. That's when it comes time to sell it. And I'll circle back to that one in a minute. If you can't sell it, oftentimes we try to donate it. We'll do anything we can to keep our treasures out of the dumpster and the junkyard and all. So we try to donate it. But I'm going to warn you right now, it's gotten harder to donate things because we're in what I call the golden age of nonprofit donations. What I mean by that is there are so many of us have been downsizing over the last few years, and we're trying to sell stuff, and the houses have been selling faster than we expected. And so sometimes the easiest thing is to donate it. And a lot of these places are flush with good merchandise. And if your couch has a little stain, if it's got a little mark on it, or whatever, they're turning a lot of this stuff down because they've got too much of it. And then if they won't even take it for free, that's when it's time to put it by the curb, call 1-800 junk, 1-800 junk or something like that. So that's your usual cycle. Let's go back to selling it. I do a whole program called Your Children Don't Want It, Here's What to Do with It. And in that program, I go through 25 ways you could sell your things. But truly, there's only 2 ways you're going to sell your things. You're either going to sell them through an auctioneer or an auction company, or you're going to sell them to somebody else one-on-one, maybe a garage sale, tag sale, flea market, eBay, whatever. You're going to sell it somewhere else. Now, if you use an auctioneer to sell your things, I'm kind of warning you right now that 3 things are going to happen when you use an auctioneer. Number 1, they're going to charge you a commission. That's how we auctioneers make a living. We keep a percentage of the selling price. So most stuff around your house, figure 25 to 35% is what they're going to keep. Now, you have a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 painting, you can negotiate a better commission. But for average stuff, figure 25 to 35%. Secondly, you got to get it to the auctioneer. They're not going to come and pick it up as part of your commission. If they've got to pick it up, they're going to charge you extra in most cases. So oftentimes, by the time you pay that 30, 35% commission and you got to pay to get it, there's no money left. And even though I'm an auctioneer, I spend more time counseling my clients, don't send this stuff to auction. You're going to get killed. Auction should be the last option, not the first option here. And thirdly, the auctioneer is going to sell you things at what's called absolute auction. That means no minimums, no reserves. You might want $500 on that sofa that you just had recently reupholstered, but if it's going for $10, it's gone and you don't get it back. So again, auction is good for some things. It's not good for everything. On the other hand, we all think we're going to find someone who treasures these items as much as we did. And I'm telling you, it's not going to happen very often. I will predict that 90% of the time you're going to end up selling to a dealer, to someone who's buying it for resale. If someone's buying it for resale, they can't pay you full price. They have to pay you a wholesale price because they're going to turn around and try and sell it at a retail price. So you got to figure, in my world, 25 to 35% is what you can expect for more average things. Good jewelry, great items, they'll pay you more. But for average stuff, figure 25 to 35%. So most amount of money equals most amount of work. And if you don't want it, Alexander, tell me right now, I'm going to ask you a question. Give me a show of hands, guys. I can't see you, but how many of your kids and grandkids want your stuff?
How many grandkids want your stuff? Does anyone have grandkids that want their stuff?
Or kids?
Or kids?
I predict there are very few hands up in the air right now.
1, 2, 2.
Okay, it's 2 out of 20. Okay, 10%. That's about right. We usually see 5% of people. And that's one of the biggest problems. If the kids don't want it, you're probably going to be disappointed with what it sells for. And the other problem Sue and I have seen overnight, you have those people who want the most amount of money is going to require the most amount of work. Least amount of work, you have to accept a wholesale price. And then the worst position to find yourself in is if you don't have enough time. And I've gone to a lot of houses where I see a sale sign out front. And when I get in the door, people say, Mike just sold the house in 2 days, got to be out of here in a month. What do I do? So those people have the worst, fewest number of options. All right, let me throw 3 words at you when it comes to value. Price, cost, and value. Price, cost, value. A lot of people think they mean the same thing, but there's one huge difference. You may go to an art gallery, an antique shop, a secondhand shop, and see something that you like. Let's say it's a piece of art and it's priced at $500. That price is a fact. You may say to the dealer, I know you're asking $500, I'll give you $400 cash for it right now. The dealer says, okay, I'll take your offer. In that case, your cost is $400. That's also a fact. You get it home, what's its value? I'm telling you right now, forget what you paid for things. What you paid for things has absolutely no bearing on value. The biggest determinant of value is how many other people are interested in owning it. So if you have things that are cross-generational, you'll probably be happy with the price. If you have things that the younger generation isn't interested in, you're probably not going to be happy with the price. So value is not a fact. Value is a subjective number that changes day to day. Also, if I went out to your home and you asked me to do an appraisal on certain things, I would have to tell you that each item has more than one value, and it all depends on what your objective is. If you brought me out to the house to do an insurance replacement cost appraisal, you want to add some things to your homeowner's insurance policy in case the house burns down or somebody steals things. The definition I would use for insurance replacement cost is what's the most it's going to cost you to replace that item if it was lost, damaged, destroyed, or stolen. That's a high number. And the whole objective of insurance is not to make us rich if we have a loss. It's to make us whole again. It presumes if you have a loss, you should be able to take your insurance proceeds out and replace what you lost with something comparable in a reasonably short period of time. Okay, so that's a higher number. You can bring me out to your house to look at the same items, but say, Mike, I need this appraised for inheritance tax because someone's passed away. Or, Mike, I need this appraised because I know someone who's going through a divorce and they're fighting over what these things are worth. Or you may say, Mike, I want to donate this to the library, to the Historical Society, the museum, and take a tax write-off. Each of those instances use what we call fair market value. And the IRS defines fair market value as what's not the highest price like insurance, but what's a reasonable price. Not the highest, not the lowest, what's a reasonable price for these items. So that's different than insurance value. Some of you don't care about insurance value or fair market value. You're more interested in the liquidation value. Mike, what can I sell this for? And that's the hardest thing for Sue and I to figure out, because we can look at our databases and tell you what someone has paid in the past. We can't tell you what they're going to pay in a couple of years, 5, 10 years, because the market has changed. Things that nobody wanted 10 years ago, in some instances, are hotter than ever, and things that were hot 10 years ago are not so hot today. So Again, most amount of money equals most amount of work. What you paid for it has no bearing on value. If the younger generation's not interested, you're probably going to be disappointed. And everything you got has more than one value. So what Sue and I will be giving you today is what we feel is the fair market value. What's a reasonable price for? You may get more, you may get less. But with that said, Alexander, I'm going to ask them one more question, okay?
Okay.
When we give you values, guys, you guys want Sue and I to sugarcoat it? Or you want to write between the eyes?
All right. Do we want to sugarcoat it or we want it straight? They want it straight. They want to take
It's
it
ugly
like
out there, man. The kids don't want much. Okay, with that said, we're ready to go. So let's get our first
All right,
person up there.
let me set up real quick. So give me 2 seconds to set up, and I'll be right back. All right, so we have a set of different china. So I'm going to hand this over to you. If you can just introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Peyton Powell.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
Peyton Powell.
Hey, how you doing? What do you got for us?
So this is a dish that I used to do home care for an older gentleman. He died at 100, and he used to travel all around the world. So he collected different like rugs and dishes and artifacts. So this is something that was given to me by his family once he passed away. I'm just not sure what country it's from or if it has any value.
Okay, so you got the dish and you have the underplate. If you could look at either the bottom of the tray or bottom of the dish, let's flip it over. Are there any markings there?
No.
Okay, I see like is that like a hole in it? Not a hole, but is a place to hang it over a nail? Is that what those are?
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's only on one side, so I'm guessing that's where you would have hung it on the wall.
We didn't have it hanging on the wall. We just had it placed on the table, but I guess you could hang it from the wall.
Okay. Flip it back over again if you would. Does it look like those designs, the flowers? Does it look like they're hand painted or are they? My guess is they're transferware decals. Can you rub your finger over? Does it feel like it raises slightly?
Maybe slightly.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard for me to tell. I'm going to guess. I'm going to say it's hand painted. If it's hand painted, it's going to be worth more than if it's transferware. When I say transferware, think of a boardwalk tattoo. Okay, a kid goes on the boardwalk to get that hand a tattoo on their shoulder, something like that. It stays for a couple of days and washes off. Well, that's kind of what they did to some less expensive early dishes. They would put the transferware on there and then glaze over it so it never came off, versus having everything on there hand painted. So I'm seeing a significant amount of detail here, which is nice. Are there any chips, cracks, damage to either the bowl or the underplate?
No.
Okay, that's good, because as soon as there's damage like this, the value is destroyed. Now, you said, and you showed us that there's no marking on the underside. That suggests to me that this is pre-1915, maybe around 1900-ish. Because around 1915, the government required the country of origin to be placed on every piece imported into the United States. So I'm kind of guessing this is probably French, maybe Limoges. Sue, what do you think?
It's a good question, because there's no marking or any, even if it wasn't, the words, but some kind of a maker's mark indication. but it's certainly beautiful. They're unique. No question about that.
Now,
It's just, to try to look up the value of something similar, I'm not finding, anything that's with enough, similarity, like I say, so I don't have an idea of
Yeah.
price range anyway, but
Okay, so we're going to assume this is around 1900, in good condition, lovely piece. How often do you use this?
It's just for display.
Never. It sits in the cabinet, right? And you'll hear me say this over and over again tonight. That's the problem with China. Okay. Most people who have inherited pieces like this don't use it. You can't put it in the dishwasher. You can't you can't put it in the microwave. So it generally stays in that cabinet. And a piece like this used to go in the 100, 125, 150, $200 range at the peak of the glass market. Now if you ask me to praise this for insurance purposes, here's how it works. If you ask me to praise this for insurance purposes, I'd say $150. But if you say, Mike, could I sell this for? I'm saying try to get $50 to $75 for it. But if you sell this through auction, you run the risk of it going for $15, $20, $30, somewhere like that. So nice piece, undamaged. I'm going to have to say fair market value, in my opinion, $75.
Okay.
Sue, anything to add to that?
no, I think you covered it, Mike.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
My number 2 is going to be some crystal.
Okay, now the bowl. If you lift up the bowl, it's a footed, probably a fruit bowl or whatever. Does it feel heavy?
Very heavy.
Yes.
Does it feel heavy? What I'm trying to figure, it looks to me like cut glass or crystal from here, and crystal should be heavier. Pressed glass would be a bit lighter. What do we think it is there?
Yes, it's heavy.
Okay, put it on its feet, turn it upside down, and now take your finger like this and ping the edge, the top edge, and tell me if you hear a ping.
Were you able to hear that?
I did not hear it.
All right, let's try it one more time.
Yeah, I'm not hearing. You got to ping it pretty good. But my point here is if it's pressed glass and you hit it with your finger, it kind of sounds like a thud. Whereas if it's crystal, it's going to ping because crystal is heavier. It's leaded.
It's like a chime, almost like a chime.
Yeah, it goes by the leaded glass, crystal, cut glass. They all mean kind of the same thing. But the problem is the kids don't want this stuff today. Now, put your fingers around the rim. Are there any inconsistencies, any chips, or any kind of damage at all?
No.
Great. Okay. Again, fair market value. What's a reasonable price for this? $75. But maybe 100. But I've got to tell you that this is not a deep market item. When Sue and I look at things, we think in terms of shallow market versus deep market. Deep market means everybody's interested in it. Mickey Mantle rookie card, Jackie Robinson game used jersey, anything Major League Baseball, anything, anybody famous. It's a deep market. A lot of people want it. A shallow market means not as many people are interested in it. And generally, the younger generation is not as interested in cut glass today. You could go into eBay right now and just put in the word Waterford, which is Waterford crystal, and you'll see over 30,000 pieces of it available for eBay, is available for sale on eBay right now. So insurance replacement costs easily $250, but if you're looking to liquidate, to sell it, you're probably in the $50 to $75 range today, whereas 10 years ago, it was $150 to $200. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Number 2? 2. Oh, 3. Okay. All right. So I have to come around the front for this one. Right. I'll wait for.
Are you using an owl?
No, I'm using a handheld camera actually.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yep. This is as far as I can go. So we have a statue.
Well, it's got to be pretty heavy
Yeah.
if it is being wheeled in on a cart. Okay, it's
Right there.
probably bronze. Do we know who the sculptor is or who the founder is? What does it say in the front?
Yeah, I see something written there.
Yeah, I see some writing on the base front. What does that say?
Where's your papers? My papers are there. Go get your papers.
Can you read it to us? Because it looks like some writing on the side as well. I can see it, but I need you to spell it for me. Does that say Renaissance?
Yes, on the bottom it says Renaissance. And it says, I think it's RANCUNLET or KANCONLET.
Let's go. Let's go again. Give me the first one.
RANCONLET.
Okay, and it looks like there's a little writing in the middle. JATA. Okay, spell the last part.
This
Again, can you spell the second name for us?
I don't know if it's KANCONLET or
So it looks like it's the same name.
yeah, I don't know whether it's RAN or KAN. Ron Coulee? ET.
Can you put it down so I can get a full view from top to bottom? You don't even have to take it off the
Don't take it
the
off.
dolly. I just wanted, just was gonna look at, see if I could get a full view of the, yeah, yeah, it's okay, don't take it off.
So it looks like it's a guy with a hammer. Is that what he's holding?
Yeah, it looks like a guy that was doing, when they joust and they was making the metal things for his jousting.
Okay, what I just did is I Googled RANCOLET bronze statue, bronze sculpture, either way. And there's a bunch of them up there. There's a lot. Ernest, the guy's name is Ernest Rancoulé,
That's it, Ernest is his first name.
RANCOULET. Okay?
Yes.
And I'm seeing prices anywhere from $275 up to $5,000, asking prices.
I like the 5,000 one.
Now, bear with me. I'm going to try something else here, okay?
And it also has this plate on the left-hand side of his stool.
Of his stool. What does that mean?
He's sitting on a stool,
Oh, okay.
and there's a
Okay, so he looks like he's probably a shoemaker or something like that.
yeah, or a blacksmith, because I think he's doing stuff, like I said, for jousting, because it looks like metal.
He has like mail gloves, like chainmail gloves. If I zoom in here, there's a sword, chainmail. This looks like a shield. He looks like he's holding another glove in his hand that he's doing.
Okay. All right, here we go. Are the owners, do they have a pen and paper handy by chance?
Hold on. Do they have pen and paper? Do you have pen? Hold on, let me get them pen. Hold on. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy out there.
Sue, I've got him covered in Asgard if you want to look up what Worth Point or anything else.
I didn't catch the name, it's okay.
I've got it. It's RANCOULET. Alexander, let me know when you're ready.
You ready? We're ready.
Okay, the guy's name is Ernest, ERNEST. Rancoulé, RANCOULET. He's a pretty, I'm not seeing any specifics on him, but he's got maybe 8 things have sold at auction. He's never sold for more than $2,000. His record price is $1,986. And generally his stuff seems to be selling in the $200 to $500 range. And
He's
he
2
was
foot.
I'm sorry?
He's 2 foot tall.
Yeah, that's about right. That would make sense. Now, here's another one. All right, here he was born in 1870, died in 1915, lived in France. He was known for his sculptures, his figural sculptures, which is what we've got. Now, wait a minute. I'm backing up here. I'm changing my mind here. When I looked at Ask Art, there are 2 Ernest Roncollets. Probably one of them was 1842 to 1918, gone. But there was another one, 1870 to 1915. He's got the big money. He has sold for as much as $25,000. And there's more than 230 of his bronzes that have sold at auction. So he's a fairly prolific guy. And is he, I mean, here's a similar one. I don't know if it's the same one. The guy is like, he's half seated on a table hammering something. That one sold for a couple $100. The auctioneer estimated at 500 to 1,000. So I'm going to stay with, I think these are probably in the $500 to $1,000 range, unless we get lucky. And here we go. Here's the exact one. Is there a plate?
I have one from, I went on Worth Point and found one, Mike.
Go ahead, Sue.
So this is on another research site that we use, and it sold in 2017, so it's not an extremely recent price, but it did, and it's the same sculpture, that same, with the hammer, the knee up on a stool, and it sold for $5,000 on eBay.
What year was that, Sue?
2017. So it's
Okay.
been a while.
And I'm looking at another similar one that they tried to sell in France, and the title is The Beautiful Goldsmith. And this one they estimated at $850 to $1,250, sold for $1,000. So yeah, I think 2,500 is more in range. If you might get lucky and get $5,000, but that's a nice piece. And what are you looking to do with it? Sell it? Donate it? What do you want to do?
They got it as a gift. They don't know what they're going to do with it yet.
Okay, if they're going to sell it, this is a good piece, and it's got to be sold through the right auction house. That's the best I could tell you right now. But it's good piece. I hope we get a lot more like that tonight.
One per person for right now. Thank you. Yep. 4. Hello. So we have a dish. Oh, we'll come back this way. There we go.
Okay, you guys are going to get tired of what I tell you all night long having to do with China. It's just a soft market there. On the bottom, who's the maker of this? There should be something on the bottom, a maker mark or something.
So this is part of a, this is from.
So what? I can't read it. If you can read it to me.
Hold it close to your.
This is from, I think it's been in the family for about 3 generations. It came from Germany. It's part of this is just a piece of a larger set. There's a small teapot, a sugar creamer, 5 of the saucers.
Okay, but who is the
5
maker?
of the
That's what I'm
cups.
trying to figure out. Can you read that to me?
Can you
Because I
see-
can't read it. Please read it.
It looks like it's a Bavaria, and it is. Oh, I can't even. Feldman. German is not my first language, or any other language. Is that easier for you? Can you read that?
Okay, that's fine. And bottom line is Bavarian China. Yeah, it's good China, but I'm just got to say the same thing. The kids are not all that interested in this. And so I want to say fair market value, $50 today. And the fact that here's the problem we all have with our treasures. In this case, this has been in the family for 3 generations. It's prized probably most right where it is right now by the family. But the minute the family decides to sell this, you have to strip away any sentimentality and it becomes a commodity. And this is not the kind of piece that a whole lot of the younger generation are seeking to acquire. And ma'am, I would ask you, when was the last time you used this?
It's been for display, of course.
Yeah, see, and that's the problem. And I was in a house today. I did an appraisal for a lady, and I asked her this theoretical question. I said, "Is the younger generation smarter than us or dumber than us?" Because they're saying, "Ma, you never use this. Why do you think I would want this in my house if I'm never going to use it and just keep it in the display case that I don't even have?" So, I think if I had to insure this, appraisals for insurance purposes, $125 to $150. But if you're going to sell it, I think we're in the 25 to 50, maybe $75 range at the high end.
Is
Okay?
this the only piece that you have, or is it part of a big set?
This is part of a set. There's a small teapot, a sugar creamer, and 5 cups and 5 saucers.
Okay.
I can't hear what she's saying.
I think
It's
I
part
got
of
it.
a
It's a small,
set. It has a sugar creamer, small teapot, and 5 saucers and 5 cups.
yeah, so it's like a luncheon set, is
Okay.
basically what it is. All right, for the set, I'm going to say 150, fair market value, $150 on the set. We would insure it at that for twice that, but this is a very limited market when it goes to sell it. And for those of you who have ever been to a website called replacements.com, best website in the country for researching your china and patterns. Don't pay attention to the prices because you'll never get close to what they ask on the stuff you're trying to sell.
Okay, we have our next one. Oh, this is my favorite. What is this, Melanie? You're going to hold it really close.
Oh, hang on, I have to take it out of the box. Sorry.
Maybe you could have them unpack it before they get up just so we can move faster.
Next, 7, 8. If you can go onto the next table and then undo your stuff. Yeah, thank you.
So what am I looking at here? I can't really tell. It's
All right. So this is a stereoscope. It's a French brand. I think it's an Uni, UNIS, and it has glass stereoscopic slides from World War I in it.
okay. So they're military slides, kind of showing cameras and military or battlefield scenes, things like that.
Yes, it has German POWs. It has different battalion life. It's my great-great-grandfather's battalion and his brother's battalion from World War I. So.
Okay. Is there a maker name on the stereoscope?
Yeah, it's UNIS, Uni. It's a French brand. It's right
UNIS?
right on the top there. And it's got the numbers of the mark are 76 on the left and 3 on the right.
Sue, you want to do WorthPoint or you want to do eBay?
Yeah, I've got eBay and I'm seeing that just the stereoscope itself has been selling in the 100 to looks like about $125 range. So let's see. Now here's a stereoscope with 115 original glass slides from the 1920s that just sold for $280. And that was just this June, past June. And those are all military slides then?
Yes.
So it could have the
Is that back on?
old military crossover too.
Yes, they are mostly from the Somme and from Verdun. There are some POW scenes. It's a lot of trench scenes as well. There are some dead bodies in there, fair warning. But yeah, it's all different regiments from the front lines, and there's some from the Eastern Front as well.
Oh, okay.
What is she looking to do with this? Sell it, insure? What do you want to do?
Well, it's my family's, so I'm not selling it, but I am the last of the line. So when I go, I got to do something with it. Otherwise, it's going to go in the garbage. So
Oh, no, 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 no. You
no,
send it to me.
no.
Don't
But
throw it in the
until
garbage.
that
Send it to
day,
me, please.
I'm keeping it. But you know, it'd be nice to know what to
Okay.
do with it when it comes time to pass it on to somebody else.
Sue, there are different models of this. This is like a handheld model, but the same thing. There's tabletop models and everything else like that. But I'm the best I've seen. The top one I've seen is Antique French Stereoscope Stereo Viewer. Looks just like this with 300 glass slides, sold for $675. But I see another one. A grouping of stereo viewers in stereo cameras sold for $450. I think Sue's numbers are right on. I think we're probably more in the $200 to $300 range here. And the fact that they're military slides, I think adds value. But the downside of these things is everybody watches this on, they stream it. Nobody wants to sit there and look at these slides anymore. So it's a nice, cool thing. There are some buyers. If you wanted to sell it, eBay would be the best place to sell it because then you would have an international.
Do you know if
reach.
there's like a museum or historical preservation that might be interested in what she can look into for this?
Right.
Well, there are, I'm sure, but museums don't want to pay for anything. They want gifts. So if you want to donate it, that's one thing.
I don't want to sell it to them. I just want somebody to have it when I die.
I would check with some of your favorite museums in the area or historical societies. Places like that, if you don't care about a tax write-off, it's easy. You just give it to them, and then they will use it as they deem appropriate. If you want to give it, donate it, and take a tax write-off, then it becomes a bit more complicated because you need written appraisals to accompany it and with your tax returns to the IRS. So if you want to call me tomorrow, I can maybe run through some ideas with you. But I would say check either some military museums or local historical societies or things like that.
Thank you.
So fair market value, midpoint
Thanks, Mike.
$250, possibly higher with the European war slides.
If you can bring your stuff down. Thanks, guys. I can only go so far with my camera, so thank you. So we got some
You're
jewelry.
doing great so far. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a couple pins. Are these pins sterling? Now, Alexandra, is this one person or more than one person for these?
It's my husband and I.
So this is you and that's your husband.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is her right here. We're gonna just do the pins.
This is, I believe this is Tiffany because it has a Tiffany symbol on it.
It has a Tiffany symbol on it.
Let me turn it over.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's Tiffany?
Tiffany.
It says Tiffany, yeah.
Okay, is it sterling? I assume it's sterling unless it's white gold.
Because it's not tarnished at all.
Not tarnished.
Can you read the marking on the back?
Like, it does have number. See, here's Tiffany.
Yep, they have.
No, Alexander, one problem we're having with this is neither Sue or I can hear the person. So you're having to translate
it has
everything.
markings on the back. It looks like numbers there, and it says Tiffany on there, so that is good. This has a number. It's very hard to make out the numbers. Thank you.
Okay, but the fact that it says Tiffany
Is
means
it maybe 750 or anything?
Something like that on there.
well, that's going to be real important because
Yeah.
right now,
Okay,
If
so
it's-
it's 1996, Tiffany and Co. And then it says 3 more numbers. I'm going to try to make them out. 925.
925.
Okay, there you go.
925.
That was hard.
All right, Sue, you want to explain that or you want me to take it?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, the 925 means that it's sterling silver because sterling silver by law has to be 92.5% pure silver, 7.5% tin or copper. Because if this pin was pure silver, it would become too soft and malleable and it would bend. Now, the scrap silver value, there's not much silver here. There's maybe an ounce at the most. Because if you wanted to scrap it, they would rip the pin off the back because that's not silver. They would only pay for the silver portion, maybe $20 for the silver. But we got a Tiffany piece here. Tiffany carries a cachet. Tiffany carries a premium price. So I'm going to say on eBay, a Tiffany pin like that might be in the $150 to $250 range, assuming there's no damage. So it's certainly worth a lot more than the silver portion of it.
We have a second pin next to it. I don't see any markings on the back.
Now, is this for the same person,
This is the same
Alexander? Are you letting
person.
her
Yeah,
do
same
pieces?
person.
And you're okay with that?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
Okay. What does the back of that one say?
There's nothing on the back.
Is it sterling?
I don't know.
If it's sterling, it's going to say sterling or 925 on the back. So,
We
I
have
mean, the
nothing
pin
on
looks
the
like-
back. I doubt it.
all right, so I'm going to assume that it's silver plate. If it's silver plate, more decorative. You're telling me this doesn't say sterling, doesn't say gold, doesn't have a maker name, doesn't have anything on there. I'm going to assume it's more decorative. You're in the $15 to $20 range on that one.
Okay. Thank you. We're moving on to the next
Great,
person.
thank you.
Okay. So we have two more pieces of jewelry. Second person. So we have
Okay.
a pearl necklace
Can you
with a
open
gem.
up the? Can you open up the clasp? I mean, pearls are not a popular thing with the younger kids today, and it looks like it's broken.
Yes, it is broken.
It is broken.
So
It
it's-
does not have a clasp, but it has a jewel on there. No.
This is a clasp.
Okay.
So that should be the clasp right
Is
there,
that the
isn't
clasp? Okay.
it? Isn't that the clasp?
Yes, it is.
Yep.
It's one of those.
Okay. Now the clasp has a little handle. Take that out and separate it into two parts.
Okay. It does.
Okay. And
Probably much longer than this.
on the J hook, see that it's like a J hook. Look on both sides. Does it on either side of that? Does it say 925 sterling, 10K? Not that one. The other one. The other part. The J part.
Oh, that part? Oh, this says something here.
Hold on, I'm putting you down. We have no markings on the J.
Okay, so if we don't have any markings on either part of the clasp, it's probably plate and not sterling. And so if it's a not gold, it's not silver, they're probably not real pearls or not real good pearls. So does this piece have sentimental
It has
value?
a number on the other side of it. It's 835.
835.
Maybe 925?
Could be 925.
835. You're sure it's 835?
Oh, it's right.
I mean, 'cause
835.
that's a
Yes,
good sign.
I can confirm it's 835.
Okay, 835 suggests to me that it's Scandinavian silver. Now, the British and the US used the sterling standard, and the sterling standard was 925, 92.5% silver, 10.5% tin or copper. Different countries use different standards, and Scandinavia was 83% or 830. So, what are we looking to do with this piece? Are you looking to sell it, or does it have sentimental value and you want to keep it and wear it?
Sentimental value.
Okay, so you can't wear it the way it is. So what I would probably do is take it to a jeweler or someone who could repair it so you can then wear it. And the clasp is fine. It just is broken at the bottom. The string's broken. So what I would do is find someone who could repair that, and then you could use it. Then you've got a necklace that's probably in the $75 to $150 range once repaired. But it might cost you $150 to get it repaired.
It has
So
this
if you
beautiful
were going to
patina.
repair this for the sake of reselling it,
Yeah.
I would say don't pay for it. Just sell it as is and take what you can get. But if you're going to keep it because of the sentimental value, then you invest whatever it's got to take, and then you got a family piece for as long as you want to keep it.
And then the last piece
Okay.
for that second person is a Mickey Mouse watch.
Okay, can I get a closer look at that? Does it say anything? It probably copyright Walt Disney or something. Does it say Switzerland, China? Does it say anything else on it?
Is that Ingersoll?
Ingersoll?
Okay, I mean, that would be an older watch, then that's okay.
Well, he
Can you give us yeah, leave it right there so we can get a better look at it. Sue, I'm gonna go into Google Images.
Okay.
I want to tell you that.
And what was the name on
I
it?
can verify
Ingersoll.
the
Ingersoll
age
Rand.
of it because it was his watch.
INGERSALL, Sue.
We can verify the
Yeah.
age of the watch since he's owned this since he was a child.
That's good because some of these things have been reproduced, and the earlier watches are almost always going to be worth more than the later watches.
Right.
Give us just a minute here.
Yeah, I'm seeing, looks like the vintage 1940s.
1940s.
That's possibly earlier. That same shape with Mickey's gloves, the large, gloves, and one just sold for $135. Is it working?
No, I don't think it is working. I'm afraid to wind
Is the watch working?
It is not working. They're afraid to wind it.
Okay.
Yeah, and you have the original. You got the watch, but it's not working. Nor do you have the original box. Is that correct?
No original box.
The original box would double the value. So I still think Sue's pretty much right on here. Sue, you're looking at completed prices, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Alexander, just so I'm clear, Mickey's hands serve as the hour and the minute.
Correct.
Yep.
Right? Okay, so I'm looking at asking prices from $260 up to $4,000. But as we said it earlier, asking price is not value. Value suggests sold prices. And so what I'm looking at, and if you go in when you go home, I put in to Google Ingersoll Mickey Mouse wrist watch, and there's dozens of them up here. But these are asking prices, and that doesn't do us any good. We need the sold prices, and that's where Sue is at right now. She's looking at eBay sold prices. Sue, what are you seeing? $250, give or take?
This one was 134, and it just sold September 8th, yesterday.
Okay, so you're talking $125 to $250 based on a working condition. But this would be worth a lot more than a Mickey Mouse watch that was purchased in Disney World in 2021 or something like that. So
And
don't be afraid.
just to give you an idea what Mike was saying about the original box, I see one that sold that same Ingersoll style that sold for $299 because it had the original box.
Original box and doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a Mickey Mouse watch. Original box in most things will
Yep.
double the value.
Yep.
All right, thank you very much.
Moving to our next person. I don't know what this is. And he doesn't know either. Some kind of stamp, I'm assuming, or he says. Let me turn it over. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, hold it up in the air. And so you would put something in there and you pull the lever, right?
Is it a grip of some sort, like a vise or like a?
Do you have a piece of paper? I mean, it's not a nutcracker. I said put a piece of paper in there and just fold it to see if it presses anything in there. It doesn't have any kind of like notary mark or anything like that? Corporate seal?
No mark on it.
I'll be honest, I'm drawing a blank here. I don't have a great view. It doesn't look like a nail puller, which I've seen. What does that say? What is that?
Pat, December 707.
Just Pat, and that's it.
PAT.DEC.7.97.
Okay, but there's no maker mark anywhere on there?
something else, a number, but it's really worn. I can't make it out.
But not a maker name.
No.
Can you hold the whole thing up like against your chest just so I can see the full, in front of the camera?
All right, so press it together. So you press it together, and you know what that might be? It looks like two dies come together.
The two dies right there come together. One more time.
Could it possibly be a leather punch? Doesn't look like it would punch its way through.
Yeah, I was just trying Google Lens to see if I could find anything.
I'm not sure. It's some kind of decleater punch. It looks like it dates around 1900. It is what it is. I don't know. I don't know.
On the inside where the two things meet, there is some type of engraving. I see a 2-point W, and then it also, I'm trying to read this upside down. It looks like an HAM. 2.U HAM underneath it.
It just seems like you would use that to make some kind of mark, like a notary seal, a corporate seal.
Yeah, it's some type of seal. It just when I put paper in there, it did not do it. So it has to be an embossed type thing or something soft to make that mark because it's indented inside.
Yeah.
Could it be, I'm just looking up, so there's a more modern looking one that's a fish gripper.
I don't think it's a fish gripper. I don't think. Or it would be for the size of fish that I catch.
For the fish lip.
Alexander, I don't know.
Okay.
It's some kind of punch press circa 1900-ish. I don't know. I'm sorry.
We'll keep you posted. How's that?
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so now we got the gentleman with the painting from before.
Okay, so it's a painting. Who are the people in it?
Okay, my uncle was participated in D-Day, and when France was liberated, he was assigned as a guard, a prison guard for the German soldiers. And one of them struck up a conversation with him and said, "I'm going crazy." Very perfect English, by the way. He said, "I'm going crazy. I'm a painter by trade. If you could get me paint and canvas and a brush, you have something for me to paint, I'll do it." So my uncle was able to get the paint, and he was able to get the brushes. He couldn't get any canvas. So at night, he went around to the prisoner of war tents that they were staying in and cut the flaps out. So this is painted on tent canvas, and there's 3 of them. My uncle had in his wallet the wedding pictures by mom and dad, he and his wife, and his sister and her husband. And the name is very hard to read. The most I could read is Dixen. Or Rixen. I don't even know if that's the complete name. With that magnifying glass?
No, because it's through the pane.
Yeah, it's
Okay, you got to keep the microphone close because once you get away from it, we can't hear you.
Yeah, that's as much as the signature I could read, though it does say 1945. That's when it was painted. And that's what I have. It's my mom and dad, and he painted it from this photograph.
Well, I don't know if we'll ever know anything about the artist. First of all, he's a talented artist. And the fact that
it's almost perfect.
And the fact that he painted this on tent canvas.
Tent canvas, yes.
And here, right now, this piece is it has more value with you than anywhere else. Would you want to hang a picture of my parents or my aunt and uncle on your wall?
Well, what I was thinking and hoping, maybe this is a very famous painter, but he didn't want to use his real name. If the Germans
That's the
found out,
worst thing we can do. Now, I'm in a website right now called Ask Art, and there are 4 Rixens, Rixen or Rixens, but none of them. This style is not telling me anything,
right,
because one guy was known for painting landscape scenes. One was for portraits, but not this kind of portrait. There's like Paul Emil Rixens. All they know about him is 19th or 20th century. Well, it's probably not our guy, because our guy was alive in 1945, it sounds like.
yeah.
So probably not him. So it narrows everybody else down. There's an August Rixen, 1897 to 1984. In
A
1945,
Rixen?
Rixen.
That's it.
No, but that's just the name. It's like,
Oh, you're trying to find that. I thought
yeah, see, these are noted painters. I'm looking at a website that has over 350,000 artists listed. But if he was just an amateur painter, itinerant painter, his work has never been sold in public auction, then he wouldn't be appearing here. So I just, there's no way I can identify anything more about him for you. I think the story has value. The story, I think it's a wonderful story.
Oh, it's a fascinating story. Yes.
Yeah, it rings totally true, because that did happen, and I'm just stunned. To me, this looks like a photograph. It's that good of a piece of original art that it looks like a photograph.
Yeah, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
So
the German painter, he had a lot of time on his hands.
yeah,
You
well, it's
know.
better doing this than forging U.S. dollars or whatever else
Oh,
they were
he
doing.
was thrilled to start painting again. So
Yeah, the story's wonderful. The story is what makes it so special. But again, unless we know who he is, and we're probably not going to find it. You know, for example, every year in the Bucks County, where I live in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, they have the Bucks County Art Festival, and they have these certain art exhibitions, and most of those artists will never appear on Ask Art, because
Right.
they were never sold at auction. If his real name was Rixen, well, if he sold through an art gallery, his work wouldn't appear here. I'm going to try one more thing, Sue. I'm going to go into Google. I'm just going to put in Rixen World War II artist. I don't know what else to do. And that's all I'm seeing. Well, here's now this guy died in 1925. There's a Jean Andre Rixen, but he died in 1925. So clearly that can't be our person.
Maybe he had a brother.
It is possible, and yet you would have a better chance if his name was Ivankovich, because there's not too many of us around.
Right.
Rixen's probably not that unusual in name. So I got to tell you, value from my perspective, insurance replacement costs $500 because it's so nicely done.
Right.
But liquidation value, I don't know anybody else who's going to be really that interested in it without knowing more about Rixen, if that was
Exactly.
indeed his real name.
Okay.
So it's the best I can tell you. It's
Well,
not. This is a.
I appreciate your efforts.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, moving on. 12, 13, 14, please come at the ready. All right, so we have some little basket and a little teapot.
Okay,
There's
who's the
marking
maker
on
on
the
that?
back.
And what does that say?
What does it say? Do you know? Okay, hold on. I got to put you down.
Looks like creation, Brosset. I can't say the word. It's French.
Creation, and then BROSSET, and then another word, HUTTEAU.
Creation, Brossoff, Uto. Does that sound right?
That sounds right. And then on the teapot, we have the same with Limoges on it. LIMOGES. Okay, put you.
Okay, I will ask you: is Limoges a city in France, or is Limoges a porcelain manufacturer?
We don't know.
Limoges was indeed a city in France. And Limoges was very well known for porcelain. And over the last 3 or 4 centuries, there were probably 1,000 porcelain manufacturers there. So I'm in Google, Sue. I put in Creation Brosset Houteau, or however you pronounce it. There's nothing that came up there. So I'm going to get rid of the word creation and see where that takes us. Oh, here we go. Okay. I got it. Limoges, France, Brosset, Brosset, second name Hutteau. So, Sue, forget the creation. The bad news is this is a teacup, and they're asking $10 for it on eBay. So that's not a good sign. I am going to go in with that name again into eBay.
The last word, Mike, is H-U what?
Hutteau.
Hutteau, yes.
Hutteau. Now, when I put in Brosset Houteau into eBay, there are 3 things. There's a teacup and saucer, there's a candy dish, and a leaf-shaped candy dish. The asking prices are $9, $32, and $75. Now I'm going to go into the sold prices and see if anything's reported sold. None of those things are similar to sold. So I got to go back to what I've been saying about china and glass all night long. Nominal value. These are kind of cute. The handle basket maybe in the $15 to $25 range. The miniature teapot, again, I'll say the same thing. $15 to $25 would be a fair market value. Because you're certainly not going to use the miniature teapot. That just sits there.
Did you put in the word orange, Mike, in your search in Google?
I did not. I just used those 2 words, the maker name. But what did you find?
Well, I just saw some orange, like a trinket dish of that, Brosset Houteau.
Okay. What did you come up with?
And that just sold for $75. But
It
again,
sold?
it's an unusual leaf-shaped trinket dish, but it has that orange pattern. So I thought, that could be the.
All right. Yeah, so I mean, you're close on it. Now I'm in here. I just went to Worth Point, and we've got a sake set, a Brosset sake set sold for $15, nothing. Then there's a teacup and saucer, Limoges, France, Brosset Houteau Demetaz cup and saucer in orange, sold for $24 on eBay in 2022.
Okay.
And the biggest thing is a Mamie Eisenhower French iridescent coffee set. And you have 6 Demetaz cups and 6 saucers in original box. That's sold for $160. So I'll stand by what I said. I think fair market value on these is in the $15 to $25 range each.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, next, come on down. Alrighty, so we have some trinket things. They're brass bunnies. I'm going to get in real close here for you. They're super cute. Oh, no.
Okay, are they
They're super cute.
Are they metal? Are they porcelain?
Brass.
They are brass.
Brass.
Air
Okay.
bronze.
Maker
I'm sorry,
names?
bronze.
Bronze. Okay. Any maker
Brass
names?
and bronze? And one owl. Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. Again, are there any maker names on there?
Are there any maker
Foundries?
names?
Any identification?
Okay. Looking at one. Made in Austria, and it has a W and then 2 lines going down and another W all within a circle. I don't know if that means anything to you. I'm going to put it close to the camera. See, well, you can't really see it. Hold on.
And so we're thinking that these are bronze animal sculptures.
So I'm finding, you said Austria, right?
Yep.
An Austrian, let's see here. Austrian, I have a baby bear and a rabbit, bunny rabbit, just the upper, like that one you just had your hand on. They just sold for, let me look here. Oh, that was an asking price. I'm still looking.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, Sue, I'm gonna say fair market value would be $5, $7.5, $10 each.
Yeah, they're very unique. They're sweet
Yeah,
pieces.
they are cute. And the question is, who would want these things? Well, anybody who collects rabbit memorabilia would be very interested in these. Anybody who collects owl memorabilia would be
Their
interested
last
in that
name
piece.
means rabbit.
I'm sorry?
Their last name means rabbit, so collecting rabbit
There
memorabilia.
you go. Perfect. Yeah. And so again, the problem we have here is the owner an antiques dealer or a dealer of any sort?
No.
Okay. So you can go into a store and see these things priced at $25, $30, $35 each. And the potential buyer has three choices. You pay that price, you turn around and walk away, or you negotiate on a better price. Okay, but she's not a dealer, so if she's looking to sell these, she's most likely, like I said at the beginning of the program, to sell them to a dealer. Dealer's going to pay $2.50, $5 a piece, and then try and sell them for $15 a piece, $20 a piece. So fair market value, I'm going to say $5 to $10 each would be a fair price.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, moving on down the line. Sir, what number were you? 15, 16, 17, come on back. And 12? Oh, 12 is missing? Okay, so we have a painting.
Okay, so hold that up so we can see it better. It's a framed piece. It's got the gold ribbed piece. Is it a frog? It's
Two
all right, it's a
frogs
frog
kissing.
kissing a frog.
Mhm.
And is it an original art? Is it a print?
Not sure.
See, if I was there, this is one of the downsides with us not being there. But if you have at home, sir, a loop, a 10x loop, if you don't have one, you can buy it for $10, $12 on Amazon. You then take this loop and look over the piece like this and adjust your eyes. If you see thousands of little symmetrical dots, it's what we call an offset lithograph. If you see brush strokes, there's a pretty good chance it's a watercolor. There's glass over it. Is that correct?
There's glass over it, but there's also a
All right, what does that say there?
a gallery from Munich on the back.
Having a hard time hearing you.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
It has a gallery tag on the back from Munich, and knowing my family, which came from Munich, all I know is that it's going to be pre-war.
Okay, that makes sense. And at the back looks right for that era. And is this the one that you said was EULER?
Yes.
I'm going to close up of that for you.
But nothing else. There's no first name. I mean, I'm looking at, there's 14 Eulers. And not knowing what you've got here, let me try one more thing. EULER frog print. I'm not finding anything like that. Frog artwork.
Can we see the print again?
I even put in Mr. and Mrs. Frog artwork. Not coming up with an exact match. So I would have to say, if this is an original watercolor, you might be in the $100 to $250 range. If it's a print, you're probably in the $10 to $50 range. And who would want this? Certainly a collector of frogs. I mean, it's adorable. I mean, it's
Someone who thinks it's cute. I mean, I think it's cute.
yeah, it's adorable. So,
I'm
but
finding a lot of
problem
things for
with-
my collection, guys. Stop that.
Now, librarians don't like me to say this, but I gotta say it, Alexandra.
Oh
You
no.
can throw every art book in the library away. There's only two types of art out there. There's decorative art and collectible art. And people collect the name generally or the location. So we don't know which Euler this is. On that tag in the back, does it say anything more about the artist by chance? Written on there?
It's just the gallery.
Okay, sometimes they wrote the artist's full name on there. All right, German artist. German. Try one last thing. But where I was going with that is there is collectible art and there's decorative art. To me, this is pretty much decorative. I don't know anybody out there who collects Euler per se. There are some frog collectors, but if it's a print, the value is going to be totally different. So I'm going to say print, $10 to $50, original art, $50 to $150. Best I can tell you based on what I can see.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Come on down. We have some more.
Now, can I say one more thing to that person?
What?
If he were, I'm going to say this to the person with the frog art.
Okay.
If he were to take the back off and check the actual piece, then it's going to give him a better idea. Is it a print or not? A print is just going to be a thinner sheet of paper. An original watercolor might be on a piece of paper, but it might be also mounted on an older board. Sometimes the artist's name is handwritten on the back of the artwork. So you got to do a little bit more investigating to determine what you got there, but it's cute. Okay, what do we got here now?
Hi, I acquired these two pieces as a pair. I was told that they were created by a German child. There's a date of 1922 on one of them, and a name Gunther Holland, some German script. The word Gauguin was also used when I acquired them.
What was that word?
Gauguin.
Okay, that doesn't mean anything to me. All right, I am in Ask Art, and there is no artist by the name of Gunther Holland. There are many Hollands.
My guess is that this might be the child who created them.
Yeah, and so there's probably this probably is not going to be a listed artist anywhere. So therefore, they become decorative.
Yeah.
Now they look like they're originals to me from here. Does it look like brushstrokes, unevenness, and all
Well,
that?
I can see pencil outline underneath some of the painting.
But
Looks like watercolor over it of some sort.
yeah, and so unless this Gunther Holland went out to a better career or changed his name, you know, how do I say this? They're nice, but they also
they're
have an
cute. I
element
like
of an uneducated artist, a folk artist kind of thing, rather
Yes,
than
yes.
a trained artist. So to me, they then become lacking any further information on Gunther Holland. I gotta say they're decorative, nicely framed, two matching pairs, interesting subject matter. I'm gonna say $50 a piece is the best I can tell you unless we know more about him.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we had a lull in our line for a second, so we're just we're at the last end of our line.
Okay.
So we got some more paintings coming. A masterpiece, supposedly. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, okay. So so we're unwrapping. Give us one moment. Oh, looks like a canvas piece.
Okay, so hold it up for us. It's a canvas, obviously. Is it signed?
There's a signature right here. It's in red. Hold it up full straight. Thank you. W circled with 827. That works better. There we go.
No, it's CW. Yeah.
CW, I'm sorry.
Now here's a ship's captain.
Ship's captain.
On this.
Okay, can I see the back?
See the back?
Okay, certainly looks like it's 18th or 1800s, possibly earlier, based on this stretcher. Was it in a frame, or is this the way you got it?
No, this is the boat. No, the canvas is a very old, heavy frame.
Came with a very old, heavy frame.
I had the frame in my car.
Do we know who it is?
Do you know who the captain is?
The ship's captain, captained the Clipper ship.
He captained the Clipper Ship Racer of New York.
But his exact name.
Clipper Ship Racer?
Clipper, CLIPPER,
Yep.
Ship Racer, RACER of New York.
He was the captain.
And he was the captain.
Of that ship.
All right, Sue, the first thing I'm looking for is just artist signature, C over W, nothing.
Yeah, it looks like the W, and there's a C over it, and to the right of it is 827. I don't know whether that's his 827th picture or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, so we're saying it's the Clipper Ship.
Here's a picture of the ship if you need it.
Yeah, I have the, oh, okay, yep.
There you go.
Can you see that?
Yep. There we go. Put it this way.
Can you see it? Or do you want it down, or what? The light here is not so great.
There we go. Okay.
Is that good?
I'm finding lots of artwork of the Clipper Ship Racer,
Yes, same here.
Itself, yes.
but I'm not finding anything of the captain.
They may have had many captains, but he was one of them, I understand.
Again, can you talk to us with the
Sorry, that's my
microphones?
fault.
I can't hear you.
Hold it really close to your mouth.
The ship may have had several captains, but he was one of them. His last name
Yeah,
could
no,
be
no
Hartnett.
surprise there.
What's that?
No surprise there, because these ships certainly outlasted one captain, almost all of them. did.
Yes, yes. Unless they ran us as pirates.
Yeah.
All right, I don't know if we're going to have time to go through all this. I'm in Wikipedia right now. Apparently, they have a list
Yeah.
of Clipper ships.
I tried to do some research myself, but I found no artists with the WC initials.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth, and I'm not finding anything there. I'm not sure what to tell you. To me, this is in the 200. The way it is right now, we don't know who he is. We don't know who the artist is. So you got a 19th century painting of a ship captain dressed up in formal attire.
Yes.
That's certainly not his whaling outfit. This is like his wedding or his funeral outfit. I'm not sure which. So to me, it's more decorative in the $250 to $500 range. Now, the Clipper Ship Racer was one of the lithographs done by Currier and Ives.
That's correct, yes.
So if he was of the captain of the racer at that time, there may be a way to find his name. I'm not finding it right now.
No.
And I can't really spend a whole lot of time here doing it. So my thoughts are spend some more time looking up Clipper Ship Racer captains.
Yeah.
maybe do a little bit with Courier Knives and, who's the captain of the race. You're probably not going to find much that way. And then the third alternative, do you know where the racing clipper, or the clipper ship Racer was based out of? Was it New York? Was it Nantucket? Was it Boston?
No, New York. It was
So
built,
then what I
probably
might
built in New
do,
York.
I'm sorry?
It was probably built in New York.
Okay, so what I might then do is either find a museum, maybe even the Met, start with the Met, or something like that, and send pictures of this and the information you have and see if they can steer you in the right direction. There may be a maritime museum in New York that has a curator who has done a lot of research into these schooner captains. I mean, you had racing captains, you had whaling ship captains, you had all other kinds of captains. And there's probably some people out there who've done their research. But if you go to my advice is if you go to a museum like that, don't ask them what it's worth, because curators generally don't like to talk value. So see if they can help you identify the artist, show them the C over W. Tell them what you know about it. Ask them if either they can help you identify it or do they have a colleague somewhere else who can help you identify it. And there's going to be somebody who knows a lot about these things. And that's why I would start with the Maritime Museum first.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Okay, and we're coming up to the end of our line here. Is there anyone else that didn't get to go? You didn't get to go. Okay, so queue up. Oh, you want to do your other one? If we have time, we'll do that one, okay? All right. Hi, how are you? Okay, so what do we got?
I have some coins from
Coins? World War II?
some of the Philippine coins I've been able to look up.
Okay, can you spread them out?
One particular I can't find.
Okay. He's asking about this particular coin.
I mean, that doesn't look like World War II.
No, it doesn't.
Can I see the other side?
Yes, sir.
Is there a year on it?
It doesn't say euro on it. It almost.
There's no year.
Okay.
There's
my gut tells me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's very faint writing I can make out of COPY on this side.
That's not a good sign, because you know what that means?
Copy.
Copy. It's a fake. I mean, that's what I was just going to start to say. As I'm looking at that thing, if that was a 300-year-old coin, it should be a lot more worn than that. And so when some of these companies were selling these things, they literally impressed the word copy into the coin so it couldn't be passed off as original. So if what you have is a copy, it's worth $2.50. It was probably purchased at a museum or something like that. But the word copy suggests to me that it's a fake.
Okay. So I can do one more coin. 1947 or 1945.
Tell me what we got.
We're just going to do these two, and then we're going to move on to our next
Okay,
person.
but what am I looking up?
These are World War II.
I need the year, the country, and the denomination.
Okay. I'll try my best. Okay.
Alexander, you're doing great. Just
Thank
take
you.
your time.
I'm trying. I'm working up a sweat for you guys. It's 1 shilling, this particular one, from 1921. And it looks like it is Georgievus VD Brit. I don't know what that means. That's
all right. I think we're okay with that.
And it's another shilling. So these are shillings.
Okay, does the Does the guy have a mustache?
S-H. Okay. What'd you say, Mike?
Does the guy have a mustache?
Yes, it's a guy with a mustache.
And does it say like George's, Gerogivs
The sixth.
space V-DEI-GRA?
Yes. Is that better? Can you see it?
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, so, and on the back, bear with me here. On the back, you have a lion standing on a crown.
Yes. Can you turn one over?
Okay. I mean, yeah. So this coin is Great Britain. It's a Great Britain 1 shilling coin. It's every coin throughout the world has a number. This number is KM # space 816 small a. And so what it's telling us is that it's Great Britain. This is silver. Now, drop the coin, pick it up and drop it, and you're going to listen to a ping. Did you hear it? Silver has a definite high-pitched ping versus more of a thud for nickel coins. So this coin is 50% silver. Face value is probably about $5, $10 or something like that. But it's the fact that it's silver. This is like US junk silver. This is when coins were made of precious metal, unlike today's junk money. So fair market value, $10 to $15 on each of them.
All right, thank you. All right, now we got, back to my memorabilia. Hold on, I gotta zoom back out. Hold on. Okay. Ooh, I'm still zooming out. I had to zoom really in for those coins. Give me 1 sec. Okay. So we have a guide to the original Nintendo. Dun, dun, dun. 1987
How to
copyright.
win at Super Mario Brothers.
And it's a book?
It's a book on how to play the game. It's a strategy book.
Okay, 1987 should be the year.
Correct.
There are 11 of them sold on eBay, ranging from $35 down to $5. Most of them are in the $15 to $20 range. So there's
That's what I
enough
saw
of them
too.
out there. What's that, Sue?
That's what I saw too.
Okay. Yeah, so let's say fair market value, $20, $25. But just so everybody knows, video games are hot today. 10 years ago, video games are one of those categories. 10 to 15 years ago, there was hardly any interest in them. Now what's happened, the kids who played these things 30 years ago when they were 15 are now 45. And they're making good money. And we all buy back our childhood in effect. And we collect what we grew up with. And I never played video games as a kid, so I never collected video games. But these younger kids are buying this stuff up, and it's not uncommon anymore for a video game to sell for $100,000 or more for a select few, not most of them. So $25 for a book like this is a pretty fair number, but it's not unique. There's quite a few of them up there.
Their children are
Thank you.
42, 45, so. We have 2 more items, and then we're going to be done. So this is part of it. They have an original Sega Genesis. The games I can't do because it's separate, yeah. So it's the whole system, the Sega Genesis with 2 controllers. Oops, sorry. I keep hitting that button.
Okay, do you have the original box?
No original box.
Okay. Sue, you want to take this? You want me to take it?
Well, I'm just looking through here. So it's a whole console.
Now, all right, so I'll let you take this, but I'm going to put in here, when I put in Sega Genesis 16-bit, there are over 2,000 of them sold on eBay. So Sue, I'll let you take this. Go ahead.
Well, I'm surprised because I thought the prices would be higher. So I'm looking at one that just sold Sega Genesis console 16-bit, tested and powered up. It says selling as is. It sold for $26.69. Another for $35.
Sue, go the other way. Go high to low. There's some pretty
I'm
impressive.
just looking at recent pricing, so it's more accurate value.
Okay, I'm in eBay sold.
I am in eBay sold.
Yeah, I'm seeing some pretty good numbers at the high end. So I put in Sega Genesis 16-bit, went into sold, and there's over 2,000 sold.
Those are the ones with the boxes generally that I'm seeing with the original
Yes,
box.
no, but I mean, I'm seeing the top selling one, Sega Genesis with box, very clean, sold for $1,490.
But I thought there was no box here.
No box on this
There's
one.
not. So we're working our way down. But that's the high end. Now, also, has this been tested?
Not recently.
Okay, so that's one of the problems you got with these things. The ones that are bringing the big money are basically either brand new and original box, or they're being sold by a video game expert, and they're saying tested and functional, tested, working, no problems with this thing. Whereas when you go to sell this on eBay or anyone else, you're selling it as is because you can't guarantee that it's going to work, right? You think it is. But if you sold this for $500 on eBay and it doesn't work, you want to take it back?
No.
So that's where we're at. So I think Sue's numbers, I think 25 to 35 is probably a little bit low, but I think you're probably talking in the $100 to $250 range for this without knowing how many cartridges or how many other accessories are there from, guns and controllers and all that other stuff. But my point also is this stuff is too good to donate today. They were donating 10 years ago, people were donating these things. Now put it on eBay and sell it because there's a ton of kids looking for this stuff.
Yeah, they have games as well, but we're just doing the Sega for right now. Okay, thank you. All right, we have one last item, Mike, so let them come on up. You're welcome. Come on up. Oh, okay. Sorry, I have two more.
That's all right.
Okay,
Are these people doing a second item or are these new people?
This is a new person.
Yeah, we don't want to let anybody come up with a second one because then we got to do it for everybody. Yeah. And we don't have enough time.
Yes, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so we have a painting.
Actually, it's a charcoal.
Oh, it's a charcoal.
It's
Signed.
Paul Brown. He's a Western artist.
Paul Brown, a Westerner.
Are you sure it's a charcoal and not a print?
As far as I know.
As far as she knows, it's a charcoal.
I mean, that paper's looking pretty rippled from what I can see. Right? Is that my imagination?
It's rippled in the frame, but it's not. Hold on. It has a title. Can I share the back? Here you go.
It's called Between Drinks by Paul
Between
Brown.
Drinks by Paul Brown. Can you move your hand?
Yeah, sure.
By Owen P. White. Illustrated by Paul Brown.
What does that mean? I mean, to me, that suggests that it's from a book written by Owen Brown, and Paul Brown was the illustrator.
Because we do have a signature, says Paul Brown. Looks like Paul Brown on there.
What's the Owen's name?
This could be an actual signature as well in the drawing itself.
What is, on the back, what is it, the name Owen? Owen what?
Can you turn it around? Owen P. White.
It's White?
Yep.
Well, Mr. White has written a ton of books. And it's Paul Brown illustrator?
It seems like it, yes.
All right, I'm not easily finding anything. I've got a lot of books by Owen P. White. Texas is one of the titles. That would make sense. If we've got a guy on a bucking bronco, Texas would make sense. It looks like he wrote cowboy stuff. There's Owen P. White wrote Texas, the autobiography of Adorable Sinner, My Texas, 'Tis Thee.
I just want to tell you,
Texas.
I do have a book at home by Paul Brown, and it's not this exact illustration, but it's like it's illustrated in like pictures, all Western. So he was an author, Paul Brown, as well as an artist, I guess.
But why would they have Owen P. White there?
I don't know. I don't know. It just seems
Signed.
and it seems real too. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
All right, here's a book. It's see, here you go. Here's a book called Flying Hooves, Hoofs, Stories of Horses, selected by Wilhelmina Harper, illustrated by Paul Brown, which suggests to me that Paul Brown was not the author, but the illustrator.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you.
Hits and Misses by Paul Brown. Buttonwood Island by Lavinia Davis, illustrated by Paul Brown. So if this is an original piece, which it looks like it is, if it's a charcoal, it probably was illustrated in one of the books. And I can't tell you which one, because there's a lot of books written by Owen P. White, which we've got. And it looks like Paul Brown also illustrated for some people and then wrote his own books, assuming it's the same one. There's one here, Hits and Misses by Paul Brown, who looks like a polo player, which was issued by Derrydale Press. And Derrydale Press can be fairly collectible. I'm going to try one last thing. I'm going into Asgard, Sue.
It seems to me like that was the title of this picture.
We're contemplating the Between Drinks title of it. Like, did he paint it between drinks? Is
know, I
the
don't wanna
guy
say
writing
anything here.
between drinks?
When I'm in Asgard, I am looking at 10, 11, 12 Paul Browns.
Oh, okay.
So there's no way we're going to identify this.
Okay.
And none of these guys are listed as illustrators, which well,
Not a problem.
No problem. Thank you.
how about Paul Desmond Brown? Does that make sense?
Don't know.
Do you know anything? There's a Paul Desmond Brown who did a lot of horse work, which he is in Asgard. I'm going to say $150.
Okay, thank you.
But we're not really clear, and I think the wrinkling of the paper hurts the value.
Sure.
And yet, if that illustration actually appears in a book, value goes up.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And my last item. Okay, put it down. All right, and it looks like a little flower holder.
Like a vase or a vase. It looks like it's silver plate. Can you look at the bottom for me?
Yep. Whoop,
Does it say silver plate EPNS, quadruple plate, anything like that?
Give me 1 second. Hold on. It has 3733 imprinted on it, and it looks like there's a marking of a windmill in the center. On either side, there are 2 pipes. If that makes
All right,
sense.
I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a decorative quadruple plate or silver plate. If it doesn't say sterling, I don't think it is.
Not that I can make out.
Sterling, we love because it's easy to sell. If it's not sterling, if it's silver plate, tougher to sell. $25, $35, I think would be a top price for this, based on the silver plate, because silver plate has absolutely no precious metal value.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
All right. That is it for our show and tell. So thank you, everyone who stuck around for it. So we don't have many people left. I think people kind of left after they showed and told. But I do have the person here with the statue of the smith who was in the earlier line. She had a question for you. The Roncule.
Yep.
Yep.
If I wanted to sell it, how would I go about doing that?
I would find a reputable auction house who specializes in better art. In other words, I would want that sold online. You don't want to sell that with the auctioneer that charges the lowest commission. You want to sell that through somebody who knows art, who can advertise it, market it, but more importantly, you want it sold in an online only auction or online auction. Now, when we're done here, when you get home, go to a website either called liveauctioneers.com or go to a website called invaluable.com. Then go into their upcoming auctions or current auctions. And I can almost guarantee you, you're going to see a live auction going on somewhere in the world. And what you'll see is you won't hear the auctioneer, you're not going to see the auction room, but you'll see a picture of what's being sold in one of the corners. And amongst a whole lot of other stuff on the page, you'll see a auctioneer has, auctioneers asking, and a place bid button. Okay, so you might see, if they're selling a statue like this, it might say auctioneer has 1,000 asking 1,100. And then it might change. Auctioneer has 1,100 looking for 1,200. Well, the reason I'm saying sell it that way is when you're selling it that way, people can bid on that around the world, theoretically. So we don't know where the collectors of that particular sculptor are. So you sell it online and they will find these things online. There's hundreds of auctions going online every day. So you would not sell that at your local auction house because he's got the cheapest commission. You want the guy who's going to put it online, sell it online, guarantee what it is, photograph it, and then ship it to the winning bidder. And all you do is get paid less the commission. That's what I would do with that.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Have a great night.
Thank you, Alexander. Good night, guys.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having us. Good night.
Mark, can you just forward me, do you mind if I forward your contact information to those in the audience from the chat?
Please,
okay.
I should. You know what? How about if I send you something tomorrow that you can forward to everybody?
That would be fine. Thank you.
I'll send you a little package and you can send it to everybody.
Perfect. I would appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us back.
You're welcome. And I'll see you on the 18th for My Kids Don't Want It.
Looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Good night.